Luke, a physician and close companion of the Apostle Paul, wrote the Gospel of Luke. Luke's Gospel is known for its beautiful storytelling and emphasis on compassion, especially for the marginalized and outcast. In Luke chapter 18, we encounter two parables that beautifully illustrate the importance of faith and humility in our relationship with God. These stories offer timeless wisdom that continues to resonate with us today. The first parable in Luke 18 is the parable of the persistent widow. This parable is a powerful lesson on the importance of perseverance and faith. Jesus tells the story of a widow who relentlessly pleaded with a judge to grant her justice against her adversary. The widow, despite her vulnerable position in society, showed remarkable determination. The judge, being unjust, initially ignored her pleas. He was a man who neither feared God nor cared about people. However, the widow refused to give up. Her unwavering spirit and persistence were her only weapons. She continued to pester the judge day and night, demanding justice. Her persistence was relentless, and she never wavered in her quest for what was right. Finally, the judge relented, not because he cared about justice, but because he was tired of her persistence. He realized that her determination would not cease, and he granted her the justice she sought to avoid further trouble. The second parable in Luke 18 is the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. This parable is a profound lesson on humility and self-righteousness, offering deep insights into the nature of true repentance and the grace of God. Jesus contrasts the prayers of a self-righteous Pharisee and a humble tax collector. The Pharisee, confident in his own righteousness, prays with pride, while the tax collector, aware of his shortcomings, prays with humility and sincerity. The Pharisee, standing tall in the temple, boasted about his good deeds and looked down upon the tax collector. He thanked God that he was not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like the tax collector. The tax collector, on the other hand, stood at a distance, beating his breast and acknowledging his sinfulness. He couldn't even lift his eyes to heaven, but instead he pleaded, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." Jesus concludes the parable by stating that the tax collector, not the Pharisee, went home justified before God. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. This parable teaches us the importance of humility and the dangers of self-righteousness. Section 4. Unwavering Faith. The parable of the persistent widow teaches us about the importance of unwavering faith in prayer. The widow, though powerless and facing an unjust judge, never gave up hope. She persisted in her pleas, demonstrating remarkable faith that justice would eventually prevail. Similarly, we are encouraged to approach God with that same unwavering faith, knowing that He hears our prayers and will answer them in His perfect timing. Section 5. Humility before God. The parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector, found in the Gospel of Luke, highlights the profound importance of humility before God. It contrasts two very different approaches to prayer and self-perception. The Pharisee, though outwardly righteous and observant of religious laws, was full of pride and self-righteousness. He stood by himself and prayed, "God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, evildoers, adulterers, or even like this tax collector." His prayer was not a genuine cry for God's mercy, but a self-congratulatory speech, filled with arrogance and a sense of superiority over others. The tax collector, on the other hand, stood at a distance. He would not even look up to heaven, but beat his breast and said, "God, have mercy on me, a sinner." He approached God with a humble and contrite heart, fully acknowledging his need for forgiveness and grace. This parable teaches us that true righteousness comes not from our own efforts or our perceived moral superiority, but from humbling ourselves before God and receiving His grace. It is a powerful reminder that God exalts the humble and brings down the proud. Section 6. A call to reflection. As we reflect on these parables, let us examine our own hearts. Do we approach God with unwavering faith, trusting in His goodness and faithfulness? Do we come before Him with humility, acknowledging our need for His grace and mercy? May these parables inspire us to cultivate a deeper faith and a more humble heart, drawing us closer to the one who hears and answers our prayers.